Hello everyone, welcome back for another fabulous Friday idea. I'm playing with an idea, a sketch actually that I saw that I wanted to try. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm combining a couple of things I learned in class. I have pulled out some of the Gypsy Heart paper from Uniquely Creative, and I've chosen those two pieces. I have my background panel. I have a layer and my card base. I'm going to use the Sand Dunes ink and this brick embossing folder I have to do, not embossing folder, stencil. I have a tiny attacher in case I use ribbon, I don't know. I have my ribbon I've pulled out. I have gold gems. I'm not certain what I'm going to use. I have a bunch of ephemera from the kit and some gold Love from Lizi strips. So first thing I need to do is I need to get a scrap paper, and I am going to take and I'm going to stencil this here, and I need my adhesive. Okay, finally found it. So I'm going to tape this in place. I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to pull this up to the top. I'm going to kind of hopefully place it where I want it. All right, I'm going to tape it here. And I need another piece. And I'm going to tape it here. Oops. I don't want it on my cardstock because that will mess up my pattern. All right, I know I got a big brush, but I'm hoping, okay, to get this down in here. And I don't know how far down I have to go, so I'm just gonna kind of guess and go up. I don't know how this is gonna look or anything, so we'll see. I'll go up quite a bit. The middle I'm not worried about because that's where my paper's going, but I do have to, all right, now, let's see if I pull that up gently. Oh, I think that will work. All right, I'm going to stop there because even if it's light in a certain spot, that's fine. All right, I don't need this anymore, so I can take this off. You really want to make sure your tape doesn't have much stick to them, or you'll okay. I also heat set this because I want to make sure these pieces stick. Now my goal is these two go on like so. So let me put this on, and I may need to trim this down a little bit. We'll see. All right, I'm going to, all right, now I want to make sure that this is in the middle. So, all right, let me go that way. There we go. And if I do this, there's two there, two there. Okay, that's, oops, not straight, not straight, not straight. Come on. It's off slightly. I should have heated this. There we go. There. And then this piece goes on this side. I need to look at this that way. It goes on like this, and I'm going to butt it up against this because that's what I want. And then that way, if I need to trim, I can. And I do need to trim just slightly. So I'm going to do that. There, it wasn't even a 1/16 of an inch. All right, now I'm going to put that on here before I add my gold strips, because I want to wrap that gold around behind the panel. Okay, there. All right, now I'm going to take, I think I'm going to use these because they're more muted. So I have to get one off. All right. And I'm going to lay this right up against the paper, and then just kind of push it down as I go across. All right, make sure it's down good. Cut this piece off, wrap this to the back, wrap that to the back. So it just adds a little bit of gold. I probably could have used a wider one, but that's okay. All right, let me get another one. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to start at the bottom, up against the paper. All the way. All right, cut off the extra. Stick that back on here, because if you have a space where you're not going to use, you know, you've got something covering it up, you can use strips. All right, so there's that and that. And I'll tape that down real good. Move that out of the way. We're done. Now my next step is to create my image. And I think I'm going to go with this because of the daisies over here. And there's a hint of daisies here. I'd also pulled these out, but I'm not sold on those. I really like that basket. That's too big. So let me see what else I have here. I have some leaves and a daisy, and some tags. All right. I think I'm going to, and I'm going to cut this in half because I'm going to put this on here. I may go this way. And I don't need to use the whole thing like that. Well, I'm not going to cut it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dimensionals foam pieces. Hang on, I wanted my smaller ones. I want some really, just a little bit. So I'm pulling out my 1mm. These are the small ones. I'm going to take that off and stick that on there. And I'm just going to kind of build it as I go. There's that. Like so. Here's a tag. I think I'm going to put the tag, well, no, that looks too close to everything. All right. I don't need this, so I can get rid of this. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick this here at an angle. All right, so give me a dimensional. I'm going to stick that up there. All right, and I need some leaves. I really don't want that one but I don't have a choice. Oh, I could cut it off and do those two. All right, let's try some surgery. All right, save that for something else. And see, this then I can put in here to give it some interest. Oh, I like that. There. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not. Where are those leaves I cut off? Oh, I'm going to put these two on the other side. I don't know what it's going to look like. We'll find out. I think that's okay. Oh, I'm liking that. And I don't think I'm going to add anything else at this point from the ephemera pack. So now what I can take and do is I can go in and add some pieces on the back of here so that they stick down. And if I need to add more pieces to make them, all right, now see, I need a piece there because that's not very sturdy. So I'll stick one there. There. I think I need a bigger piece there. I think it needs to be a double. So let me take two. I'll see if it's big enough. And stick them together. I'm not going to take the backing off because I want to see if I push it down. Maybe one more. Let me take the back off. This. Add another piece. I'm going to take my backs off before I put it underneath. And I'm going to use my pokey tool to stick it under there. All right, there we go. That's better. I'm not going to worry about the top. Now I have this thinking of you. And I think I'm going to stick it in here like so. I'm using the really tiny ones. They're like 1 millimeter because they're not very thick. All right, there. All right. I've got everything. I just have to decide about ribbon and gems. So let me put this on my card base while I think about it. I think I want some gems, and I think I want a little piece of, all right, now I'm going to go across those because that'll help hold them in place. Okay. All right. Now I got to put this down here. There. There's that. Do I want some ribbon sticking out? Oh, I think I do. All right, so I need some glue dots for this one. I had my tiny attacher, but I should have done that before I put this down, and I didn't think of it. So we'll just do this. All right, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to fold this in half and stick it down like so. And I'm going to take another piece, another glue dot, and I want it up under here. So I'm going to push it down there. All right, let me put this back on here so it doesn't stick to anything. Here are my ribbon scissors. I'm going to trim this one just slightly so it has more of an angle. And you know what? I think I'm going to take and I'm going to put 3 gold pearls right here in a row. Oh, I am liking that. So there's today's Fabulous Friday idea. And I shopped my stash and found a daisy to stamp the inside and the envelope. I hope you enjoyed this Fabulous Friday idea. I had a lot of fun doing this. I'm trying to use what I learned in class and to make some things, and I kind of like how it turned out. I would have never cut that apart before.